All right, Ricky, the time is here. We have a very special guest with us. One
Yes.
of the sketch artists for the Disneyland 70 product is here to talk about Disney and sketch cards and his work, not only with this product, but others as well. Ricky, we're welcoming him on Eric Lehtonen. Eric, welcome onto the
Yeah.
show.
Hey, thank you very much. Happy to be here. Appreciate it.
Eric, we did some research on you and really a very impressive resume that I think people are going to want to know about. It seems like your degree in graphic art, and now for over the past decade or so, you've been creating art for products that our listeners know very well, including Tops, Upper Deck, and then a Cryptozoic Entertainment as well. Now, not only did you work on this Disneyland 70 product, but also from your social media page, we've also recently seen Star Wars, Marvel, Lord of the Rings, and then also with DC Comics, MLB, The Walking Dead, Stranger Things, and more. And just incredibly impressive art. Eric, your background is incredible. Your work is incredible. So, once again, thanks for joining us.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
All right. So, I want to get a little bit on your background. So, I'm going to fire away with a few questions. I'll let you take it where you want to.
Sure.
I'm curious about your background in art and whether or not you have dabbled in cards or Disney growing up that led you to get to work in this Disneyland 70 product.
Well, I growing up, I always was interested in art, drawing, coloring, things like that. My mom definitely encouraged me to kind of follow it as I went along. Uh, One of the earliest things that I have actually, not Disney, but it's Looney Tunes, is this drawing of Porky Pig that I did. That my mom, for whatever reason, she thought it just looked like the cartoon, and she held on to it and she put it in a cookbook and like in between the pages. And all these years later, she still has it and is like, I have your Porky Pig from when you were a little kid. So yeah, I was just kind of encouraged to kind of follow, I guess, the talent that I had. Um, and in high school, I was in all the art classes, the clubs, stuff like that. And yeah, then when I went off to college, I decided to pursue it. I went to State University of New York, Farmingdale, and studied. I have a bachelor's in graphic design, or it's visual communications, which is essentially like graphic design, illustration, and advertising. And the advertising aspect of it, I chose not to really pursue. But everything that I learned as far as the design and illustration helped me move forward with challenging myself on different ways to you know do art and you know follow my dreams as well, I guess.
Now, I'm really interested in how you take that and integrate yourself into trading cards. Like, this is a massive world. It's really blown up over the pandemic, and even more so, if you can imagine, over the past couple of years. How did that come about?
Well, it started with the love of trading cards. So I'm a big into trading cards. I don't just draw them, I also collect them. I've been collecting them since I was a kid. Star Wars, Batman, whatever there was, whenever there was some new movie coming out, and there was always trading cards in the stationery store, I would pick that up. So I was always that was like a thing with me growing up. Garbage Pail Kids, things like that. Um, and Star Wars is also a very very big part of my life. Big in my fandom. So I was interested in collecting Star Wars cards for the longest time, and then at one point I became aware of this thing called sketch cards, which are hand drawn pieces of art that these well known artists get paid to do. You toss the drawing into the pack, and then you can open up a pack of cards and get like an original piece of art from somebody. And I was blown away by this. I thought that was just the coolest thing. So here I am, I'm already collecting the cards, and then I'm an artist, and I'm like, wow, you know what, I could probably do that. I really would be interested in doing that. How cool would it be to have one of my pieces of art in a pack of Star Wars cards that somebody finds and opens? So it really started with the trading cards more so than me doing art and then looking into doing art for trading cards. It started with the trading cards first, and I discovered this. It was right around the time when they first started to come out. So it was like, I'm going to say probably about 20 years ago or so is when sketch cards first started to trickle into different sets. Um, and I'm not sure where it originated. It may have been with Star Wars, or I don't know. Um, but yeah, so I saw that and I said, you know what, I just want to try to see if I could do something like that. Um, I worked up some samples. I started to get into communication with uh, other artists that I knew were doing these cards, and they all encouraged me and said, you know, all you got to do is you send in the samples and see what happens. So I did that, and this was so long. This is almost 15 years ago, so it wasn't even where you just sending things through email or messenger or anything like that. I had to physically mail samples into New York City, and
Wow.
it was almost an entire year later to the day that I got an email back saying, "Hey, we see your stuff. It looks great, and we'd love to have you on board." And that was like the dream come true for me right there.
Yeah.
And had you like forgotten about that or started to move on to other
I had
things at
moved
that
on.
point?
Yeah, I had moved on. I mean, I was still collecting the cards, but I was like, "Ah, okay, I guess they don't want me. That's fine." Because yeah, after a while, you just start to give up. But
Yeah.
a
Oh,
year a
what?
year is a pretty long time.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And how exciting must that have been
Oh
out
my
of
God, it was
nowhere?
unbelievable. I don't know, it was unbelievable. Yeah,
Especially
so
mailing those in, it's just got to make you wonder, like Ricky said, that it's gone. So, as a quick aside, before we talk specifically about this Disney product, collectors for ages have talked about how they want people who are collectors to help design the cards. And we can, Ricky and I are avid collectors. You can tell in a set when people are collectors who help design the cards, and it shows off immensely with the work that you've done. And it's very clear to see that. And so it really warms our hearts. I'll speak for Ricky on this one when we hear that. So talk to us a little bit about, that transition into this Disneyland 70th anniversary product specifically. Did they reach out to you? Did you submit more art, or was your foot already in the door and so you jumped in?
it's a little bit of both. So, I mean, my foot was already in the door working with Tops, and I've been working consistently with them for 13 years. But up until about a year or so ago, it's been almost completely primarily Star Wars. That's like their big entertainment product. I've done a few baseball cards. So getting into the sports product a little bit, but it's just mostly been Star Wars. But in order for them to have these other sets, they have to acquire the licenses. So it was only in the last year that Topps acquired the Marvel license from Upper Deck, and then they acquired the Disney license. So with that, you're already doing. It's weird because you have to kind of submit samples for each individual license that you want to work for. So I'm already doing Star Wars. I have a long history with that. But then if you want to do Marvel or if you want to do Disney, you basically have to almost like apply. You have to submit samples in order to do work for those types of properties. So um, Tops had been doing Disney just about a year. I think they first started reaching out to artists last January, so January 2025. Um, and then I got my first job doing Disney cards on a project called Disney Wonder, which I think you're familiar with, right?
Yes. Yep.
He
That
did
came out not
Merlin
too
from
long
Sword in
ago.
the Stone, dude. He did Merlin from Sword in the Stone. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So so that was I'm pretty sure that's the first set that I worked on, and then there were several more that I've done, several that have released, and several more that are still coming. Um, but as a Disney Parks fan, um, like I'm a huge Disney fan, but I'm really into the parks, and they have these conferences where they'll like kind of announce some of the sets that they have coming out for the future year. And I had seen listed there Disneyland 70th anniversary, and I just said, "Oh my God, if they do a Disney park set, I have got to get on that set because all I want to do is draw the castle and the haunted mansion and all the characters and all that stuff. And yeah, so once I had been doing a few of these Disney sets, then the day came. They sent the invitation, asking me to come on board. And it's a select invitation. So there are certain sets where the invitations go out to the general pool of artists, and then there's certain invitations that go out only to select artists that they specifically want for specific projects. Um, so yeah, when I got that invitation, I pretty much I think jumped out of my seat because
I'll
I knew that I
bet.
wanted to do this. And then they give you the option of how many cards you want to do. So there's a minimum amount, which is usually between 10, 15, or 20. Um, and then there's, I guess you could call it a maximum amount, but basically anything above the minimum is what they're looking for, depending on how many you could fit in your schedule. And I said, I can't do the minimum on this. I got to do as many as I can. And I went for 40.
Yes.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
incredible.
I'm going to share for those of you watching on YouTube, or I guess even if you're listening, we'll post this front page on our website so you can check these out. Ricky, I'm going to post the first page that Eric sent over to us. Ricky, do you maybe want to pick a card and one that strikes you and see if we can get a little backstory from Eric on it?
Yeah, well, I would love to. Well, I love the Haunted Mansion gremlin in the center bottom, but in the center is actually the Minnie Mouse that I was showing my wife, and she believed was a photo from a distance. Like, it is so well done. When you are drawing these cards, where are you getting? I don't know. Are you going to the parts in the park and sitting and observing? Are you taking photos, taking notes? Are you taking images from online? Where do you kind of get your source material and kind of coming up with these drawings?
Yeah, for this specific one, the majority of the images are photos that I took myself on my trip to Disneyland. So I I had gotten the invitation to do the cards, and then it just so happened that coincidentally we were taking my fiance and I were taking our first trip, or my first trip, not hers, but my first trip to Disneyland because she was running a race out there that weekend. And so I had gotten the invitation. I had just started on the cards, and then it just so happened we were going to be flying out there. And I said, "Well, here's a great opportunity to get all the reference that I need. I don't have to look online, any of that.
Oh,
I could take exactly the photos of exactly what I want, the position that I want, the framing, the composition, all that, to get what I was looking for this set. Now, some of the images are ones that I pulled from online, like out of that exact grouping that you had there. The Dumbo and the Pinocchio, those were ones that I had to get online. Even the pirate, because I mean, as you know, the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, it's so dark. It's really
Yeah,
difficult to get a photo, like a good picture in there. So some of
sure.
them came online, and then that particular one of Minnie Mouse, I think I took from the 70th anniversary promotional materials, just because it was a really really nice, clear, high quality photograph.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I really enjoyed that one because I thought it would be fun to try to emulate the material of the mask, like even with the Mickey Mouse there. Like you're not looking at a cartoon character, you're looking at a human being in like a plastic mask or whatever the material is. So it was fun to try to get to do the shading and especially the little like rosiness on the cheeks, but then also the reflection of the sun or the shine on the cheeks so that it looked as realistic as it could.
And I'm sorry, I'm dead wrong. It was actually this Mickey that we're showing
Oh,
now that tricked my wife. And that, because I remember zooming in and the rosiness on the cheeks. I'm like, gosh, how did he capture that? It almost has a reflection in the drawing from a distance.
yeah, it was fun. It was really fun.
So, are we
Appreciate that.
collecting photos from your first trip to Disney, Eric?
I
Which is
basically,
amazing. Like that almost adds
yeah,
another element to like the magic of these cards, right? Because
Yeah, it
everyone
does.
has photos from their first trips and their big trips to Disney.
yeah. So yeah, on this page here, aside from the groundskeeper, or whoever you call him from
Yeah.
Haunted Mansion. Aside from him, I think yeah, every single one of those other photos are ones that I took. It's possible that the top center, the Celebrate Happy, is might have been one that I found online, but Jose from the Tiki Room, Mr. Toad, all the other attractions there are literally photos that I took while on site.
I think that
So
is so
yeah,
cool.
you're right. You're collecting my first vacation photos from Disneyland.
That is so
I
cool.
didn't never even thought about it like that. Yeah.
Oh, that's incredible. I think it
Now,
adds
do
another
you?
layer.
It does. Do you get to keep any of these cards? Like, do they send you, a separate? I know these are one-on-one cards, but do they send you anything to commemorate what you did for your work?
Unfortunately, not anymore. That used to be a very big part of our compensation for doing Star Wars. Um, for many, 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 many years. But unfortunately, some bad eggs took advantage of situations and things got out of hand and things end up getting sold that are unapproved and stuff like that. So they actually took that away from us.
Got
They
it.
took that away from I think all of their properties except maybe like Garbage Pail Kids and things like that. But for the major ones like Star Wars, Marvel, Disney, they no longer allow us to keep finished cards or blank cards.
Oh, bummer.
So to kind of offset that, they decided to pay us more, which I'm perfectly fine with.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I honestly, like you said, to commemorate or as a keepsake, I would love, love, love to get one of these cards back. Um, but if you find any on eBay, you'll see that they are going for quite a
Yeah.
bit.
And there's
They're
good
not cheap.
reason. There's a good reason for this. These are beautiful cards, and
Oh, yeah.
eBay buyers, especially when you get trading cards, you get Disneyland involved, and then you get a product like this. It doesn't
Yeah.
surprise me one bit.
Nope.
Yeah, the prices can get a little out of hand, but I mean, they're not easy to find either. So that's, a whole part of the supply and demand. Like I said at the beginning of the conversation, we're collectors as well as, me being an artist. We bought, I think, 10 or 12 boxes of the Disneyland cards,
Yeah.
and we did not get a single sketch card in there
No.
at all. No, not a single one.
Did you buy any
Bummer.
of them from the Disney park to get the exclusive chance at exclusive hits?
We did. We got two boxes of those, and out of that, we got a Mickey dollar Disney relic,
Oh,
That's
nice.
cool.
the Disney dollar,
Yeah.
and yeah, we got a couple of autographs, and yeah, so it turned out pretty good. We had a lot of
Okay.
fun with it. A lot of fun ripping
Excellent.
these cards.
Yeah.
They are a blast.
You're a true collector and a true Disney fan if you're ripping packs in the Disney park, or at least buying them from there. Ricky and I have talked about that for years leading up to this product, and that's part of why we're so excited for it. Well, before we start to wrap up, I'm going to let you think about what you'd like to promote. Ricky, maybe if you've got one more question, I'll fire away one as well. Eric, out of these cards that you did of your set, which one's your favorite?
Oh, that's a good question. I really do like the gargoyle from Haunted Mansion, and one I'm not sure if you put up on the screen, but there's this pirate character in the middle of one of them that he's from Pirates of the Caribbean, and I just love the way it looks. The character, yeah, that one. I love the character pose, and it's just
Yeah.
so authentic to the ride. I
Yes.
really like that one a lot. Yeah, I had so much fun with these.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good stuff.
So is Topps paying you enough to go out there and potentially buy one of those one-on-one sketch cards on eBay? It's just us. It's just
I'm pretty happy with the compensation, but I tell you, those cards are going for like literally thousands of dollars.
they are
Yeah.
amazing, and honestly, it's well earned. Like my wife has been married to a card collector about as long as you've been with Topps.
Mhm.
And it drives her nuts. I mean, she like tolerates it. This set, and when I showed her your cards, it's the first time in my life that she finally says, okay, I might be all in.
That's great. That's great.
These are just incredible. Your work's amazing. And when I go show her some of the other sketch cards you did, especially for Disney, and I realize I can see that you were heavy into the Star Wars, which your art's just amazing. She's gonna flip her lid when I show her this Merlin from Sword in the Stone, or Sword in the Stone. She's gonna lose it.
Well, thank you. I really, really appreciate that.
Well, Eric, let's go ahead and wrap up. I guess one thing I want you to include in your promotion is whether or not people could commission you, perhaps for another Disney like Haunted Mansion type thing. I've got this blank wall in my new house, and it needs to be filled with some more Disney magic. So, Eric, promote anything that you would like. And before we wrap up, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, I can be commissioned. I've just opened up for the first time in a few years for commissions because prior to this, I was just so busy. I just couldn't even find time to do anything personal or private. But I am open up for the first time in a couple of years. So yeah, you could reach out to me. As far as promotion, all I'm really looking to promote at this point is myself. You can check out my Instagram. It's Dark Lighter Illustration. You could also find me on Facebook. And if you like what you see, reach out to me and maybe we can get something going.
Ooh, I'm excited. Chad, you can be prepared to be hearing from Chad. That's a lot.
Oh yeah, that is a lock. Well, Eric, we will make sure to post your contact information. And for the listeners, if you want to see more of Eric's work, go over to our website, pttfpodcast.com. We'll have the link to these photos and all of his social media. Eric, thank you for joining the show.
Thank you so much for having me. This was a ton of fun. I really appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, Eric.
All right. Take care, guys.
All right.